Hello, my name is Kylie Morton, and I did my presentation on Will Our World End from Climate Change? Thesis. Climate change is going to kill our Earth and destroy our wildlife, but it is driven by human activities. We need to improve our daily habits and end activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and methane emissions from industrial businesses because they are harming our Earth. Overview. What causes climate change slash greenhouse gases? Animals at harm. How long climate change has been around? Rising sea levels. How artificial intelligence has an effect on climate change. How climate change affects people directly. Dissolved oxygen in oceans. Fires. Why our glaciers and ice caps are important. Why we can't get to a certain tipping point. How Plumas County has been affected by climate change. And coral reefs. What causes climate change? Most of our electricity is generated from burning fossil fuels. The emissions are warming the earth, though, because most of our emissions are carbon dioxide, and that is a greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gases are atmospheric gases that trap heat radiated from the earth's surface and acts as a blanket on earth. Carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor are the main ones. Although our atmosphere only contains small traces of carbon dioxide, 0.04%, it has a lasting effect on everyone and stays in the atmosphere. Methane is also a harmful greenhouse gas, but it doesn't last long enough in the atmosphere to have a harmful effect. How climate change has affected bees. Bee population has been declining globally over recent decades due to habitat loss, intensive farming practices, changes in weather patterns, and the excessive use of agrochemicals such as pesticides. Climate change causes changes in weather patterns which can affect bees drastically. Bees are very important because they pollinate about 80% of the world's flowering plants. Their homes are getting destroyed too due to intense storms and droughts. How long has climate change been around? In the 1880s is when we first started seeing global warming. The summer of 1988 was the hottest on record, but we have had many since that have been hotter. Our Earth has been around for about 4.5 billion years, and climate change has only been around for about 38 years. Some may love the hotter summers, but they don't see the danger happening around them. Rising sea levels. Our ocean levels are rising rapidly and starting to destroy cities like Venice and San Francisco. Sea levels are rising due to temperature increase and melting glaciers. If emissions continue to rise, the current rate of melting on the Greenland ice sheets is expected to double by the end of the century. Alarmingly, if all the ice on Greenland melted, it would rise global sea levels by 20 feet. If we don't stop or fix anything, land, animals, habitats, and cities will be destroyed. How artificial intelligence has an effect on climate change. Artificial intelligence, AI, has threatened our water and electricity supply. In 2027, global AI training and use are projected to account for about 4.2 to 6.6 billion cubic metrics of water withdrawal. This raises concerns about around priorities for water use, especially in water-stressed areas and during times of droughts, and places pressures on nature and people. The more electricity we need to run AI, the more fossil fuels we are burning, plus more greenhouse gas emissions. How climate change affects people directly. Climate change impacts our society in many different ways. Droughts can harm food production and human health. Flooding can lead to spread of disease, deaths, and damage ecosystems and infrastructures. More dangerous weather conditions can increase death rates because it is hard for people to go to hospitals and get help. Temperatures will be too intense to handle. The less work, the less money you will make, and you need to provide for your family. Coral reefs. As temperatures rise, mass coral bleaching events and infectious diseases outbreaks are becoming more frequently. Additionally, carbon dioxide absorbed into the ocean from the atmosphere has already begun to reduce calcification rates in reef building and reef associated organisms by altering seawater chemistry through decreasing the in pH. They are important because they serve as a natural barrier and protect shorelines against waves and storms. Coastal cities could lose money because coral reefs are a big tourist attraction. If they are damaged and gone, people won't want to see them. Dissolved oxygen in oceans. The warmer the water, the less dissolved oxygen in the water. Marine animals rely on dissolved oxygen because that's how they receive their oxygen. The ocean is the biggest carbon sink, and temperature does affect how much carbon it absorbs. Climate change and fires. Climate change driven droughts and extreme heat events increase the drying of organic matter in forests, the material that burns and spreads wildfires. Fires used to not last that long, but now the temperatures are rising and there are more droughts, then there is just more fuel for fires to continue. As temperatures continue to rise, eventually everywhere will be too hot and can easily support fires. Why our glaciers and ice caps are important. Ice acts as a protective cover over the Earth and our oceans. These bright white spots reflect excess heat back into space and keep the planet cooler. Climate change causes an increase in water temperatures because there's less ice to reflect the sun's heat back into the atmosphere. The warmer our oceans are, the less dissolved oxygen it can hold for life. Ice provides habitats for many animals. Why Earth can't get to a certain tipping point. It is very important that the Earth stays under a certain average temperature, 1.5 degrees Celsius, because that causes so many catastrophic events on everything basically. The effects of immediate 1.5 degrees overshoot are already apparent in rising tide of weather catastrophes, soaring heat strokes and deaths in India, Africa, and the Middle East, unprecedented wildfires in the United States, and escalating property damage and floods from tropical storms and extreme precipitation. How Plumas County has been affected by climate change. Plumas County has some of the worst air quality in all of California. We experience a couple wildfires a year and had one of the worst wildfires in 2021. Wildfires produce a significant amount of smoke that lingers in the air, causing poor air quality. Students miss school because the smoke caused the air quality to be so bad. Conclusion. We need to improve our daily habits and end activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and methane emissions from industrial businesses because they are harming our Earth. To do so, you could travel less, waste less, limit AI use, and help protect land. So what if we don't make a change and let climate change get worse? The easy answer is we will die sooner than we want to.